Tonight on KFM Hard Talk, the football community in Kiryandongo district has been shaken by the recent decision of Kiryandongo United Football Club and Nyakadot United Football Club to withdraw from Federation of Uganda Football Association FUFA Kitara Regional League. Hello and welcome to KM Hard Talk, broadcasting live from Kiryandongo District, Midwestern Uganda, Bunyoro Kitara Region, via Google Meet. Time check, it's 7:33 in East Africa. This evening, meanwhile, it's just a blazing evening whereby it's threatening to rain in other parts of East Africa. Saturday, 29th March 2025. I am your host, Tony Atenyi. This program is dedicated to discuss a matter of national importance every Saturday, and tonight we have a team of a very specialized guest lined up for you, so don't go away. Today, we will discuss the recent decision by Kiryandongo United Football Club and Nyakadot United Football Club to withdraw from FUFA Kitara Regional League. This move has sparked intense debate, concern, and frustration among players, fans, and stakeholders in Kiryandongo District and the wide Bunyoro Kitara region. Many had high hopes of using these teams as a platform for the national recognition, particularly with the FUFA Drum Tournament and the upcoming of 2027 African Cup of Nations, AFCON, where Hoima City is set to host some of the games. But the stakeholders are now raising serious questions about the decision-making process, expressing disappointment that the club's officials took such a significant step without border consultation. Was this the right decision? What does this mean for the future of football in the region? Today, we unpicked these concerns and explore the way forward. Joining us live on the show, Mr. Kisembo Juma, TTK, the Chief Executive Officer, Kiryandongo United Football Club, live from Ankara, Turkey. Mr. Kiza Godfrey, Chief Executive Officer, Nyakadot United, live from Kiryandongo District, Uganda. Later on, Mr. Martin Oloya, Manager, Weyala United Football Club, live from Kiryandongo United. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Kisembo, I will start with you. Many stakeholders, including players, fans, feeling blinded by the decision. You can clarify process that led to Kiryandongo United withdrawing from the league and why the key stakeholders were not consulted before such a crucial move was taken.
Yeah, Juma Kisembo is my name. A co-founder of Kiryandongo United. It was founded in 2004 as Kiryandongo FC. In 2004, it was founded by two young men. That is Juma Kisembo and Tumwebaze Julius Joseph, mostly known as Amuza or China. We have been running this club for the last 20 years, meaning it has existed for the last 20 years. Up to date, So Kiryandongo United is not a new club. It is one of the greatest clubs in the region. Everyone knows about Kiryandongo United. I've been acting as previously I worked as the chairman of the club as it was starting. For some good time came, I crossed to the CEO work. Time came, I also changed it to secretary, and the club has been going on, and it is still going on. Only that recently we had an upset that because of the reasons that we gave, we had to withdraw from the league. It's not that the club is no more, the club is there, but we just withdrew from the league. We can continue doing other activities of the club.
TTK, for clarity, TTK, pause in there. For clarity purpose, I would like to read this letter to our viewers and the listeners of the show. The letter dated on 25th February 2025 to the General Secretary, Kitara Regional League. Dear Mr. Samuel, the withdrawal of Kiryandongo United Football Club from Kitara Regional League. We are writing to inform you that Kiryandongo United has decided to withdraw from Kitara Regional League, effect immediately. This decision has been made after careful consideration that has made it impossible for us to continue participating in the league. As you are aware, some club has been facing several challenges, including the use of unlicensed players by other teams, unfair treatment by the regional executive, and lack of transparency in the league's decision-making process. Despite our effort to address these issues, we have not seen any significant improvement, and we have been left with no choice but to withdraw from the league. We want to emphasize that our decision to withdraw is not taken lightly, and we are deeply disappointed that it has come to this. We have always been committed to the development of football in our region and have worked hard to promote the sports and provide opportunity for our players. However, we cannot continue to participate in a league that does not operate in a fair and transparent manner. We would like to thank Kitara Regional League for the opportunity to participate in the league, and we appreciate the support and cooperation we have received from some of the teams and officials. We hope that in the future the league will take steps to address the issues that have led to our withdrawal and create more level playing field for all the teams. Please note that we will do everything possible to ensure a smooth transition, and we will cooperate with the league to finalize any outstanding matters. We will also ensure that our players and staff are aware of the decision, and we will take steps to support them during this transition period. If you have any question or concern, please do not hesitate to contact us. We can be reached on +256 782 4717 10 or FC Kiryandongo tc@gmail.com. Signed, Club President Kiryandongo United. Copy to Federation of Uganda Football Association, FUFA, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Edgar Watson. Copy, FUFA Competition Committee. Copy, Kitara Regional Football Association. Copy, all club CEOs in the league. Copy, Kiryandongo United fans. Copy, Kiryandongo District Football Association. Copy, our sponsors. Our dear listeners and followers of Kiryandongo Mira 311 Hard Talk, that is the letter which was written, dated on 25th February 2025, addressed to the General Secretary, FUFA Kitara Regional League. TTK, back to the question that I asked you earlier on.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, those who are listening. I want to give more light on this. Our withdrawal It is not that we came from a black or from a dark spot and then decided to take this season. It started last year. Last year we had issues with the league, where the league of 13 teams, 3 teams did not acquire licenses for the whole season. That is Karuguza United, Bweyale United, and Kirasa United. But this team continued to play the whole league, and the season ended. And the same teams, we had issues with them during that time.
You said the Karo what? TTK, you said Karo what?
Clubs which we petitioned, some of them we petitioned them, and our petitions were not heard. Instead, they were thrown away, claiming that evidence given was not enough. Even we were not called for hearing, but we were only served with the ruling, which was unfair to anyone who is investing in this game. So it has been how I don't know how I can say this, but it has not just come from nowhere, but it has been a problem. We had issues which we have stated in the letter, maybe for more clarity, that there have been issues that we have been complaining about from actually not only last year, but previous years. We have been complaining, but we were not given fair hearing, and this season it was too much for us. We saw we couldn't hold on. The only last resolution was to withdraw from the league and allow maybe the remaining teams would have a smooth way on how best they can move on. But it was unfortunate that sometimes it is very hard to convene a meeting for fans. Then you tell fans that you want to withdraw. Some of these issues are done through the hierarchy. The club executive can sit and forge a way, since these club executives are under the funds and they report. They are got from the funds. They are like MPs. They are like maybe the local council. The LOC5 executive. So some decisions, they may not come to the voters to say that maybe we want to do this and this and this. What is your take? Some decisions sometimes are taken by the executive because it is one of their roles to ensure that some of these issues are handled amicably. To me, we shared with the executive about this because of the reasons that you have read and you have stated that we included in the letter, whereby no one doesn't know that our club has been facing several challenges, including the use of unlicensed players by several teams, Aruguza, Bweyale United, Crane Hots from Hoima, teams like Blue Star, teams like Kirasa, teams like Kagadi United. These are some of the teams that have been using unlicensed players on us, and some of us who have paid, and the results have not been good, especially for those teams that have been using Bachuba against us. Almost, we've been losing games against them. We lost against Karuguza last season because of the Bachuba. We lost the points. We lost 4 points.
But TTK, let us interject you. Despite that, these clubs have been using machineries, players who are not registered in the FUFA registration channel actually FIFA registration channel that is given to the federation, and federation has to give to the club. I believe that your concern, which you have drafted and put into paper, has videos and photos. Were you in position to present this to the regional FA?
Boris, I'm trying to give you light, and I'm coming to that. I'm trying to give you light how it has started. I've started giving you on the issue of unlicensed players.
Okay.
On other teams. Unfair treatment by the regional executive. Unfair treatment. For example, we have an issue, maybe we request for our game to be maybe moved to the next day or be brought back a bit so that we can be able to participate in a better way. We are not considered. They refer us to the opponents, that you talk to the opponents. Maybe if you agree, then we can push, which is unfair, because you know that
but
there is no team that will win
TTK,
to be moved to another.
To a person who is listening, is it under FUFA law, Federation of Uganda Football Association law, that a club is supposed to talk to the opponent requesting for a game to be carried forward or brought back?
That's what I was trying to explain. As per the rules, there is no way you are supposed to consult the opposing team. Maybe if you want to do it on a humanitarian ground, maybe you want to agree with the team, maybe. But there is no way where it is that a club shall consult the opposing team in case of a change or an adjustment in a fixture. What we know, an adjustment of the fixture, it is the competitions committee that is responsible for either accepting the request or rejecting it with given reasons, depending on what you have presented. If the reasons you given are genuine, they can respond to you and say yes, then they communicate to the opposing team. But that has not been happening. So I've given you about the use of unlicensed players, unfair treatment by the executive, lack of transparency in the league, decision-making process. It has been there has been no transparency. For example, we petition, we pay the fees, that's 200,000. We are not called for hearing. The judgment is taken. Even when they ask us for evidence and we have submitted the evidence, still they will tell you the evidence. I mean, they may not even call you for the hearing. So it's like there was no transparency, and it is really there was no transparency in such in the making of some processes. Despite our efforts to address those issues, there was nothing, because we wrote to the executive complaining about this. We have been complaining on our WhatsApp group of the Albert group, but now nothing would change. So worst of it was this season when we had 3 petitions. One petition was against Kasingo Hot Crane from Hoima, where they used impersonators. An impersonator is a person who comes to play in someone's name, which is not his. So we realized this after the game. So when we petitioned, we shared the photos which were taken by our cameraman, our photographer. The ruling was against us, that we did not take official photos for protest. That one was understood and we agreed and we moved on. And life started fair. We continued to play games. The second petition was against Buhuka. That is called Blue Star from Kube district. The same scenario, they used the impersonators. Someone comes in for someone's name. This time we took official photos, referee available, the captain of our team available, and the players we were protesting against, they were available. We wrote a petition, we submitted the fees, the 200,000. Only we were called we were given a few days to submit our evidence. We wrote the evidence. We attached the photos. We attached the registration numbers of the two different people claiming to use the same name, and we submitted. Only to be given a hearing. We were called for a hearing. And a judgment was taken against us, claiming that we did not have enough evidence. We did not have enough evidence to make us overturn the results, which was really unfair. Because if I've shown you the photos of the owner of the license, then I've shown you the photo of the person who came in the position of this. You will just look at the photos and you see they are not. The photo on the license and the photo of the person playing, they are two different. That was the ruling. It was against us and we lost. We also had a petition against Karuguza, where the game ended 3-2 in Kiryandongo. They had 7 players who had no license, claiming that one of their license. At first, they claimed that the license remained at home, but later, during the hearing, they said they reported the case at Kiryandongo Police for the loss of their licenses. I was wondering, why would they report in Kiryandongo, not in Kagati? All that, or not in Kivale, in their home districts.
Maybe they did that to report in Kiryandongo because they were in Kiryandongo, not in Kikube district. That's why they decided to go and report at Kiryandongo police post. Can that be can that be one of the reason?
It can be, but one, they claimed first of all, the game had failed to kick off. I was called online to intervene. I talked to the match assessor. He told me these guys are claiming their licenses remained home. But they were requesting they use online. I told them, no, we can't use online because one, you may use online when these players have just been approved and they don't have license. It's not that everyone who is in the system has a license, because we may use them. We may use the system. The system is capturing them clear. But when they don't have licenses, how do we approve? How do we prove this, that they have licenses? So later on, we said, let's take a protest photo, and the game continues. We played, it ended 3-2 in favor of Karuguza. We petitioned, we submitted evidence later. But the rules are clear. The rules are clear on that. Maybe sometimes it is unfair. Our petition was very clear. We submitted a complaint against Nyakadot United for using players without licenses against us. The game was played on 19th January at Kiryandongo Ground. Karuguza represented some players who had no licenses, claiming that they forgot them at home. They had 7 players: Frederick Ayebale, Benjamin Bagambe, Ronald Atuhura, Joseph Irumba, Deo Iseja, Fred Ategeka, then Senyonga Bashir, that was their goalkeeper. But this is against the FUFA competition rules. Article 31, subsection 6,
yes, I'm reading that.
8 and 10. 6 says, for all the 3, 4, and 5 division, or 3rd, 4th, and 5th division, the one we call district league, non-league, the one we call 3rd division, 2nd division, 3rd division and 4th division. E-complaints of inspection of licenses. Both teams by the captains of each club, supervised by the match official, with at least 40 minutes to kick off time. Players whose licenses, a player's licenses must be presented by the club official. A license or licenses of players whose eligibility is being contested by opposing team shall be retained by the match official.
Was it that did so?
And we were not contesting the licenses, but we were contesting the players for not having licenses because they didn't have licenses.
Okay, go on.
We couldn't hold the licenses to be given to the officials.
Okay.
All disputes in 3, 4, and 5 division concerning the regularity of the licenses may be subject to protest before the kick-off of the match, submitted to the FUFA or the tournament organizing committee by match officials for a decision.
Yes.
The copy of licenses of the contested players must be sent by the commissioner or TOC of the match, along with his or her official report. In 3, 4, and 5 division, players whose licenses cannot be presented by club officials at that time of inspection shall be ineligible to play in the respective FUFA competitions. These guys, the 7 players, did not have licenses. But also ahead it says, competition match, unless such licenses is or are presented before resumption of second half. Meaning, if these players had no licenses, they were not supposed to play. But by half time, before half time ends, if they can bring their licenses, then they can continue with the game. They can remain on the lineup and then play the game.
Okay, pausing there.
Second half.
Pausing there. I will come back to you. That we shall start from the second half as you have made the submission. Thank you, TTK. Let me bring in Dr. Kiza, the CEO of Nyakadot United. Mr. Kiza, I'm back to the question that earlier on presented to CEO of and the chairman Kiryandongo United. The same thing I want to ask you. Can you clarify the decision of withdrawing from the league without involving the stakeholders, as fans and the sponsors were left disappointed with the decision because this decision, you did not consult them?
Thank you very much. Maybe for clarity, I am not Dr. Kiza. I am Kiza.
Okay. I saw that someone sent me Dr. Kiza.
No, Kiza. Okay, thank you so much. I think TTK has said a lot. And in the beginning, I think you were very clear. You read through the letter that Kiryandongo United submitted to the region and copied different stakeholders.
Yes.
When it comes to the management system of football in this country. I don't know if it would be right if I read through or you read through the letter before we proceed, just like maybe we did for Kiryandongo United. I don't know if that's okay, if you can do it, or I do it.
Okay, that letter was, I requested for it, but it wasn't shared to me. You can read it as well. You can share with me for reference, but you can read it.
Okay, we have a letter dated 20th February 2025. It's saying Nyakadot United Football Club, and then the other details. And our letter was addressed to the chairperson, the chairman, Competitions Committee, Kitara Regional Football Association. It was dated 20th February 2025. And the reference of the letter is the withdrawal of Nyakadot United Football Club from the Regional League. And it says, this letter serves as a formal notification of withdrawal of Nyakadot United Football Club from Kitara Regional League, effective immediately. This difficult decision has been made due to a significant loss of confidence and trust in the competitions committee ability to effectively manage the league and uphold the principles of fair play. We have observed a growing misconduct between committees' stated mission of developing football at a grassroots level and the reality on the ground. Specifically, we have expressed and witnessed several instances of unfair treatment towards teams participating in the league. For example, these include inconsistent application of rules regarding player eligibility, biased officiating in crucial matches, the imposition of fines that appear arbitrary and disappropriate. And in bracket we said, the process of issuing fines lack transparency and without due process or sufficient justification. Or we have also raised concerns about the lack of transparency in the scheduling of fixtures, which has negatively impacted our team's preparation, especially our plea for the games coinciding with other clubs that we share with the same supporters in the same district. And we go ahead saying that we feel it was unjust for our plea not being listened to, and yet this was the biggest source of financing. These incidents, among others, have created an environment that is detrimental to the growth and development of football in the region, and it creates an environment that is not conducive to fostering a healthy and competitive atmosphere. We had hoped that these concerns would be addressed constructively this season, but unfortunately, we have not seen the necessary improvements. Therefore, we feel our continued participation in the league under the current circumstances would be unproductive and ultimately undermine our own commitment to the fair play and development of our players. We strived as a football club to contribute positively to the league and promote the spirit of sportsmanship. However, the prevailing circumstances have made it increasingly difficult for us to continue and can no longer justify our involvement. We regret having to take this step, but we believe it is necessary to protect the interest of our players, our club, and the integrity of the game. We hope that Kitara Regional Football Association will take our concerns seriously and implement the necessary changes to ensure fair and equitable treatment for all participating teams in the future. We request acknowledgement of this withdrawal and clarification regarding any administrative procedures related to our departure from the league. Written and signed by our chairperson, Kiryandongo Emmanuel. And it was copied to the chairman, Kitara Regional Football Association. We copied it to the FUFA Standing Committee. We copied it to the sports officer, Kiryandongo District Local Government. We copied it to the chairman, Kitara Regional Football Association. We copied it to all the CEOs, Kitara Regional Football Association, Albert and Edward Group. And then we also copied it to all club presidents, Kitara Regional Football Association. So briefly, that is the letter that we wrote to the region. In the beginning, you said that the fans, the community are not happy, they are frustrated, a lot of things. And I want to say, I think there is no one who was more hurt for us making this decision than our own players, us guys in the management, our fans, and the people around. I personally felt so heartbroken when we were writing this letter and submitting it. But at the end of it, we realized, for the reason that we have stated in the letter that I have read to you, we felt it was very justifiable for us to withdraw from the league.
Is there anything on record that after presenting those letters, were you called or any of the club officials called to the regional office regarding the complaint you raised, the club raised?
Is it about the withdrawal?
No, not the withdrawal, the complaint, lack of transparency and other stuff that you read in the letter that made the club to withdraw from the league. When you wrote that letter to the region, were you people invited for the hearing?
Maybe,
TTK just...
maybe I would give light on that. After several accusations to the committee and our letters, our letter and Nyakadot's letter, a meeting was convened by the chairman region, invited FUFA officials, and clubs attended. Kiryandongo, we had a representative who attended on our behalf. Only I can't tell if Nyakadot was represented. A meeting was held, discussed these issues. There was a lot of fishy things done by the competitions committee. The same competition committee that ruled against us on the game of Kasingo, they were claiming that we won the petition. It was really sad.
Okay. Yeah.
But all in all,
yes.
But all in all, a meeting was convened. Kiryandongo United was requested to come back to the league. We wrote to the region chairman, and we wrote to FUFA. But from the time we wrote, we have never got a reply. So maybe we shall be waiting.
Okay.
Because we are giving condition.
It's okay. You pause in there. Okay, you pause in there. I will come back to you later on. Mr. Kiza, go ahead.
I think my brother TTK has tried to enlighten some of the things.
Okay.
But it would be very, very clear that for the reason that we've stated, there have been things that we felt were very unrealistic. And I want to maybe say sorry to the fans, to all those that had hopes in us. And they were looking at us, Nyakadot United, pushing maybe this district or this region to the level that they saw us into. But also, for the reason that we stated, we felt we wouldn't achieve our goal. There are so many things that have taken place in the competitions committee. In the competition. And at some point, we were swallowing them. For the first season, we felt, okay, maybe in the second season, things are going to change. And we realized there was nothing that was changing. But TTK has talked up a lot of things, I think, when it came to petitions. A club writes a petition. When you write a petition in the Kitara Regional Football Association, you pay 200,000. And I am very much aware that there are some regions that do not levy a fee on petition. But for Kitara region, Albert, and I think Edward, you pay a 200,000 to the region before the hearing. Now, when you go for the hearing, the losing or the team that loses
petition
the case pays. But at the end of the day, under what circumstances our clubs are losing these cases? I'm going to give you an example of some of the things that were unjust to us as Nyakadot United. We were called for a hearing that happened in Masindi, and there were so many cases that were levied on us with no substantial evidence. There is a game that we played at home. I think it was against, we played at home. It was against, is it Kakumiro? That game that we lost the game, and there was some fracas, which I would say they claim that our fans beat up the referee, which was not real. Actually, we asked for evidence. And in my defense, when I went there, they called me. I went and explained to them exactly what happened. And they're like, okay, I think that is sorted if it was that way. And I think there was something that maybe that didn't go right. And then I was like, okay, it's done. And then another thing, we had a game against Boyale United at Stella, where we, that game, we also lost it. I think it was 4-2, 3-2. And then, you know, the fans we have here, normally people are excited. Something small will simply spark off something, and then it happens. And then they say our fans invaded the pitch, and then we threatened to beat the referee, we threatened to beat the match assessor. Things that were not realistic. Because at the end of the day, when we go to the courts of law, what matters most is the evidence. Because if you're trying to incriminate me without any evidence, and it is just a hearsay, I mean, it ceases to be anything, and I would consider it null and void. But then when I ask for evidence, and then you do not have evidence to defend yourself in the hearing, you're like, okay, that is sorted, we shall have to see what to do about it. And then at the end of the day, the same committee that says this is sorted sends you a letter saying you're supposed to pay a fine for the misconduct of the fans, the misconduct of the players, of which, I mean, what was the instance of me being called for a hearing and I defend myself, and you're like, okay, that is sorted, it was well. And then at the end of the day, you write a letter to me saying I am supposed to pay a fine. I mean, under what circumstance do I pay that fine? Because at the end of the day, clubs are investing in a lot of money. And this money is coming from ourselves, from our fans, from our supporters. And this is the money that we feel is the money that's going to help us run the activities of the club. But then if we are going to start paying unjustified fines, I mean, that means we are going to work towards, feeding the fine. At the end of it all, when people pay fines, we ask ourselves, where does this money go? Because at the end of the day, we felt maybe there was a way the competitions committee were simply trying to make it as a business for them. Because ideally, if you are going to petition, you're going to pay your 200,000, and at the end of the day, there's no accountability for that money. At the end of the day, when you lose a petition or when the other team loses the petition, they have to pay. You see, some of those things that are not justified. At some point, we ask for accountability of all the things that go on. There was no defense for that. So we felt maybe there's something that is not fishy. Actually, one of the things that hit me most was when Kiryandongo United petitioned Kasingo Hot Crane. And then they said the case was dismissed. The case is dismissed. I thought when the case is dismissed, it ends there. But now the case has been dismissed, and then you tell Kasingo Hot Cranes, pay 600,000. For what? I mean, the case was dismissed. So those are some of the things that actually we as Nyakadot United, we realized that there was something fishy that was going
this
on.
600,000 you're talking, just let me interject you. The 600 that you claim that officials from the regional FA said it should be paid. On what ground? What was the money all about?
No,
if the case has been dismissed,
the 600 comes in the scenario of Kiryandongo United and the Kasingo Hot Crane. I'm just trying to bring up a scenario.
Okay.
Kiryandongo United petitioned.
Yes.
The case was dismissed. They sent the letter that the case has been dismissed, but in the same letter, they're saying Kasingo Hot Crane pay 600,000. I mean, for the reason, one of the reasons they're saying, against Nyakadot United, you put in your lineup in the system late, and then there are other very unjustified reasons. And then you realize that there's something that is not right in the administration of the league, of the league. And some of those things, practically for us, we had a lot of fines to pay, but for things that are not justified. You see that? So at the end of it all the things contribute to our trust with the region going low and low and low.
Okay.
And then the other thing is that Kitike talked about how some clubs were operating without licenses. It is not one, not two, not three, but the rules are very, very clear that if for any club to participate in the region, you must have registered, and the club must have licenses for you to participate. And then we have clubs that are participating in the region without licenses. And then they claim they have players, because normally we have the FIFA Connect where we have players registered. And then these clubs do not have players, so they start using VTubers. At the end of the day, where do we go? What do the rules say? I thought, as stakeholders of the league, because the biggest stakeholder of the league are the clubs that are participating, we are supposed to abide by the rules and the regulations.
Pause in there.
Now,
pause in there.
Yes, good evening, members. Hello.
Later during the show, we shall give you opportunity, our audience, to participate in the discussion. You can request for a microphone or post in your question via comment section, or send us your message via WhatsApp group, or send us an email, kiryandongomira@gmail.com. Mr. TTK, before I give audience the opportunity, you were talking about the second half. You said something, then I will take in question from our audience. Yes, TTK?
Personally, I was trying to give you light on how we chose to withdraw without consulting the fans. A decision was taken by an executive, which is the highly recognized governor or governing body of the club. We agreed because of the reasons that we stated that we give space and withdraw from the league, but the club continues doing its activities. Maybe in the future, when the league normalizes, we can find our way back to the league. But of recently, the meeting was held in Hoima, and we were requested to come back. We wrote to the Federation of Uganda. We wrote to the CEO of FUFA. We through their chairman region, and we are waiting. It was a serious letter which we requested where we requested the region to respond. But up to now, we are waiting. We have not yet got any response about our letter, our request, because we gave an attachment. Since the meeting, from the meeting, we realized that our petitions were dumped or were thrown away without reasons that can hold water. So we put in our prayer requesting the Karuguza petition and our Huka petition.
Mm-hmm.
Then we United petition, the rulings be handed down, be given our 9 points and 9 votes. And then another thing we requested that the General Secretary, that is Samuel Trio Muiwe, who sits in Fort Potro, we were requesting FUFA to withdraw him from his position as the CEO, as the General Secretary, because of incompetence and corruption. One, he allows clubs to play without licenses. Two, he takes money from clubs and gives them fake licenses because clubs claim they have got licenses from the General Secretary, which is against the law, the laws of the football. That one is actually it is a crime of forgery.
Pause in there.
Forge a document because we all know licenses are supposed to come from the Federation of Uganda Football Association.
Pause in there. Pause in there. For our viewers and followers of Kiryandongo Mira 311 Hard Talk, it's on record that I personally, the host, Tony Atenyi, I sent a letter of invitation to the CEO of Kitara Regional League, dated on Monday. I sent him a letter requesting him, after he has accepted to appear on the Hard Talk. I wrote to him a message and I called him, I explained to him, and that wasn't enough. He accepted after me talking to him, and that was not enough as a professional and a trained journalist. I wrote to him a letter requesting him to appear on the Hard Talk. He did not respond to my letter. That was on Tuesday. On Monday, I called him 3 times on Wednesday at 2:38, 2:39, and again 2:39. 3 times he did not answer my call. That's the CEO of Kitara Regional League. I called the chairman. I spoke to him on Sunday. He accepted. On Sunday, he did not talk to me. On Monday, he picked my call. He asked me. I introduced myself and I spoke to him. He accepted to be on the Hard Talk. But later on, when I sent him a message telling him about the issue, why he's being invited for the talk show, we are going to discuss the withdrawal of Kiryandongo United Football Club and Nyakadot United Football Club from the league, as well as discussing the progress of the league in the region ahead of 2027 African Cup of Nations. He never responded to my message. On Wednesday, I called him twice, at 2:40 and at 8:19 p.m. Ugandan time. He didn't answer to my calls. So it's on record, these 2 people, the chairman and the CEO, refused to respond to my calls or my requests for them to appear and defend themselves, because they are assigned and appointed by FUFA to represent the Federation Kitara Regional League. Through my investigation, I was told during the meeting which was held in Masindi that Kiryandongo United, they alleged that Kiryandongo United reported them to FUFA how they are running the league without transparency and doing other dubious things, putting league at risk, whereby clubs are losing matches in a very weird manner. So these guys, the CEO and the chairman, became annoyed and started witch hunt against Kiryandongo United. That is alleged, according to my intel from Masindi that I have gathered. So that I wanted to present this today here for people to listen and understand the position of Kiryandongo United and Nyakadot United, why they have withdrawn from the league. If they have nothing to fear or they have nothing to hide, why did they refuse to attend the hard talk? Thank you. Right now,
I would wish maybe I give out our last submission on this.
yes,
Especially where we are at the level we are, so that our fans who are listening and maybe other football stakeholders who feel for our club can know and understand our take and where we are. Or maybe I don't know if my screen is showing, but we wrote a letter on 15th March 2025 to the Chief Executive Officer, FUFA, through the Chairman, Kitara Region, and we were responding to the meeting that was held on 13th March 2025, that was held in Hoima. We hope this letter finds you well. We are writing to follow up on the meeting held on 13th March 2025 in Hoima, which was attended by representatives from Federation of Uganda Football Association, including Mr. Vyamukama Rogers and Mr. Swale, who is in charge of regions, who is the supervisor of all regions. During the meeting, several issues were raised, and we would like to bring the following to your attention. The competition committee failed to hear our case, Kiryandongo United versus Blue Star and Goyale United versus Kiryandongo United, due to the absence of our representative. There was no evidence to prove that Karuguza reported the lost licenses to the organizing committee and the police. 3. There was no proof that an electronic copy of licenses was sent to the match assessor for inspection. 4. Mr. Kawimukia, the chairman of competition committee, incorrectly stated that Kiryandongo United did not submit official photos for the petition against Blue Star. Our representative, who was available on that day, presented the photo during that meeting, which was contradicting Mr. Kawimukia's claim that the photos we sent were not official. 5. The meeting revealed allegations of corruption against Mr. Samuel, the General Secretary, who reportedly facilitated clubs to play without licenses. A specific reflection was made to the 2023-2024 season, where 3 clubs in Albert Group played the entire season without licenses. This was observed, and a report was made during a meeting held at Vyamukama's Rogers in Masindi, where the FUFA president had a tour. Kiryandongo was presented, and our submission was put to them, though many took it that we reported them, which was not true, because for us we wrote because we mind about the game, we love the game, we feel we should die for this game. In light of these findings, we respectfully submit the following prayers. We request that the disciplinary committee provide us with a copy of the minutes taken during the hearing of all our cases. We wrote this, we were requesting the competitions committee to give us the minutes, because when you have hearings, you are supposed to take minutes. And these minutes includes the submission, the physical submission of the complainants, and they want their complaining against. So we requested. Up to now, we have not got any response due to alleged corruption and irregularities facilitated by the General Secretary. We request that he resigns from his duties or be suspended for a period of 6 months without pay. 3, we pray that the ruling against Kiryandongo United be overturned in our favor, allowing us to return to the league and continue with football. 4, if it is found that Karuguza did not report the case to the police in the time, we request that Mr. Patrick, the match assessor, resigns for facilitating corruption in the game of football. We appreciate your attention to these matters and look forward to your prompt response. Thank you. It was done, and so that was it. So we wrote. We are waiting for a response. We have not yet got a response from FUFA. We have not got a response from the region. Maybe this time they will give.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much, TTK, for that presentation and being very clear in your point and submission regarding Kiryandongo United withdraw from the league. Our audience, the floor is open. You can raise your hand, post in your question via comment section, and then your question will be read on air. Well,
I think I should take over. Thank you, host. My name is Joshua Hagona. I'm from Edward Group. I'm the club CEO for City Football Club. I was very happy and impressed being with this Hard Talk podcast, and I've listened from the both sides. The truth is, corruption is at its center stage in our region. We are facing a lot of things managing this game, running clubs, and playing the people. Yes, we only go there since we love the people game. On a real note, something's happened on the match day. Like, I should just quit this league and stop playing football. I'm not surprised by seeing clubs like Nyakadot, a historical club like Kiryandongo United, everyone in this league admire club like Kiryandongo. And Kiryandongo is pulling out of the league because of one thing: corruption. Corruption is a center stage, and we as clubs are not being respected. And since we are the league managers, in fact, we clubs are the league managers, but we are not being respected. We are not being heard as clubs. Imagine you facilitate the match of people on the match day. You pay registration fees. You have to get up for security in the match day. You have to pay players allowance. You have the coaching staff. You take all the week training, and you facilitate each and everything. They requested for you to submit a standard playground, which is great. You do each and everything, and you're doing each and everything on a match day, on and off the day. Everything is smart. But someone comes from nowhere and he is not referee because he's not painted. Then you expect a fair judgment of the game, but he goes on the other side of the opponent, and the end result is not as good as you expected. We as clubs, we come out to raise our concerns and to petition. But do you know, when you go to petition, you're requested amount of money as petition fee. You're going to submit the amount of money. They are going to eat that money at the end of it all. Why? There is no fair judgment and a fair hearing. The case won't be in favor of you. Okay, the end of it all, you want to receive the fair judgment, because they will toss you until you give up on the case. To me, I was of a view. If as clubs we were allowed to access soft copies of the licenses from the different clubs within our league, it would help us from incurring more cost for petitioning. If I had, for example, if I had the licenses online, the soft copies for Kiryandongo United, I would not go ahead to petition Kiryandongo when I know this player is truly licensed for Kiryandongo United. I will not go. But now I don't have the access to their licenses. That means I have to petition, attaching the evidence, the photos, the what, but the player has already played. Because two wrongs cannot make one good thing. Because I have lost the game because of that player who is not licensed. I then have to wait to petition to do what they eat the money, then to be awarded 3 points. If I had the soft copies of the licenses, it would be easier for me to receive the soft copies. Then I assess this is a real player, is a genuine player for this club. Then I want to go ahead to petition.
Okay,
I don't have access to those lineups, to those licenses. I think they should think about it.
Okay.
Another thing.
Summarize.
Okay, I'm summarizing. Another second thing is all about our clubs. Our voices are not being heard. We are paying every time. Everything comes up, we have to pay. But where do we get this money? At the end of it all, what do we earn from this league? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that clear submission. Let me give Kiza Joffrey. You raised up your hand. You have something to say. The CEO of Nyakadot United.
Thank you so much. I just want to maybe colleagues to understand something as we are talking about the vices of corruption that are being brought about by clubs that do not have licenses and they are operating in the region. In the FUFA competitions rules, Article 10, subsection 2 says, all clubs, stroke teams participating in FUFA competition shall be required to present a FUFA club license to the TOC before they are included in the competition. 3. Any FUFA organized any organized FUFA competition that includes a team without FUFA club license shall be null and void. Now 4 says, any TOC that violates rule 10, 1, 2, and 3 shall be liable to disciplinary action. The sanctions may include FUFA withdrawing the football competition organizing license through authority from such TOC. Now, I just want to bring to your table that Kitara Regional League administrators knew that there were clubs that were operating without licenses, and yet they clearly know what the rule states. What did they do? Just like TTK says, these clubs go down and pay off these guys so that they have to come in the competition, in the league. They run through the whole season without any license. That means they have to keep playing around with the player. Today you have this player, the other day you have this player. At the end of it all, the clubs that suffer most are the clubs that have licenses because you have no option of changing. But meanwhile, the ones that don't have licenses, they have even a chance of using Uganda Premier League players, big league players. At the end of it all, this cost still comes back to us. Mr. Moderator, the other thing I want to say that
yes,
as you continued trying to talk to the General Secretary and the Chairperson competitions, it is very unfortunate that they didn't actually come up to a consensus with you. As club administrators, these are things that we've gone through. You're calling someone for something that is administrative. You have something that you really need to sort out. Maybe it's a match day. You're trying to put up a lineup and things are not working out. The General Secretary has to come in and help you. And then you're trying to call someone. They do not respond. You write letters, they don't respond. You write emails, they don't respond. At the end of it all, how are we going to run our league with people like that? Because at the end of it all, when you choose to be an administrator, you must be willing to listen to everybody. But now, here comes the people that you're serving. And then somebody needs something from you, and then you do not. Actually, the other thing, when Nyakadot United and Kiryandongo United withdrew from the league, if the administrators of the competition were very serious about this league, they would have come down on ground and found out what exactly went wrong. Because ideally for us as Nyakadot United, I think we acted as the sacrificial lambs. There are so many gruesome things that are happening in the league that people are simply being hit and they're simply quiet, or they're even talking, but we felt for us, let's make this decision and maybe our decision will make the rest of the clubs learn. And then all of a sudden we also hear Kiryandongo United jumping out of the league. But you realize that our reason for withdrawal from the league were not very different from that Kiryandongo United gave. There are so many wrongdoings that are happening in this league. There's a lot of corruption by the administrators. There's a lot of corruption by the referees. There's a lot of corruption by the match assessors. It's really mess, because there's something that happened and a match day, it was very unfortunate. Someone is the match day and then the match assessor tells you, man, you know what? You need to win this game. Do I have my 200 coming through? And you're like, I mean, are we going to continue running this league this way? So these are some of the things that really are happening in this league, and people are being hit, but some of them are quiet, some people are speaking, but the only thing that is going to help us, we need to change the administration of the Kitara Regional Football Association. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Otherwise, everything is just a rot.
Thank you so much. On record, Papas, this podcast is recorded and we posted on YouTube, and it will be shared direct to the president of Uganda Football Association, Honorable Engineer Moses Magogo. This talk show will be shared to him direct. Mr. Ola Ivan, unmute yourself. You have raised your hand. Mr. Ola Ivan. Okay. Honorable Nsubuga Richard, thank you for joining us, one of the panelists who have something to say. Unmute yourself. Honorable Nsubuga. Okay, Nsubuga is still. Miss Ola Ivan, you have something to say?
Yes, thank you very much, moderator.
Thank you for appreciating and welcome on the Hard Talk.
Hello?
Yeah, thank you for joining the Hard Talk.
That is Ola Ivan.
Yes.
Treasurer, Well United.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I want to hear from your side how you are coping up. I was hoping to send my invitation to the manager to join us, but I don't know, due to his schedule, he's so busy, he tied up, he's not online. So you can give us clarity regarding how the only team from Kiryandongo district participating in Kitara Regional League, how are you coping up with everything that has been put on table regarding allegation, the accused, and many?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I understood them. Sudan is a challenge. Sudan is a journey. This month in the league, we are learning, we are popping up and resting. And what I would say is, there are a number of challenges happening. My direct question, of course, I saw the CEO Kiryandongo United and Nyakadot United.
Yes.
There are some accusations made against us. Yes. Last season, we had a game against Kiryandongo United. I think it was an away game, whereby we won the game.
Where in Kiryandongo?
And Kiryandongo United petition. And I believe Kiryandongo United, at Kiryandongo.
Yes.
So the petition that game against us, we had won the game at their home. And I believe the results of the game was overturned and the results was given to them. And then the Nyakadot incident was also last season, where I believe our keeper was attacked. We did not petition. We did not raise any complaints. Apart from, I believe the match officials saw the results stood. So I believe some of their complaints might not be raising. According to us, we are all teams from Kiryandongo. It was our disappointment that they withdrew. Of course, a lot of our fans, whenever there's a derby, I believe there's an opportunity for some of these clubs to raise funds. And in most cases, when these teams are playing Vita United, or United, that's where some of these clubs actually gain a lot of funds, revenue, collections. When Kiryandongo United is playing Vita United,
yes,
it's going to raise a lot of revenue for gate collections, more than any other matches they are out. The same with Nyakadot United. So it was our disappointment. The complaints could be genuine.
As you summarize.
We also faced incidences, but as a team, we also stood. As a summarize, we also had a game against Kiryandongo United. I believe there was a goal that was given to Kiryandongo, a penalty actually, outside the box. So it was awarded a penalty, and they won the game 1-0. We had a lot of incidences away. It's mainly the away matches where we face a lot of those incidences. I believe maybe within the league there are some selected clubs meant to qualify every season. I don't know. And this club tends to be outside of Kiryandongo.
Okay, thank you.
Some of the complaints being raised by these sister clubs of ours will be genuine.
Okay.
And I believe that.
Okay, thank you so much for that question that you have raised, and few submissions that you made, clarifying how your team is coping up the disappointment after the withdrawal of Kiryandongo United and Nyakadot, because these two clubs, they're all from one district, whereby revenue is being collected when there's a derby. So it's a huge disappointment for Boyale United, as well as the teams that have departed the league. The communication director of Kiryandongo United, Mr. Odokonyero Innocent, had something to say.
Good evening, members. My name is Odokonyero Innocent. Cody Palage, the club pro and the head of communication. I would like to interject on what the club treasurer or head of finance of Boyale United submitted. Our complaint were not on our sister clubs. Our complaint were going on the committee, the competition committee, and the regional CEOs of the tournament. On several occasions, I've always been raising complaints about the use of 9.5 players, but we were kept on deaf ears, which I felt was really breaking our fans. Like, for example, the game we played had 6 players actually didn't have when that second half game started, some of the players were which we recorded took their photos and submitted with our petitions. So you find that most of these rulings are being done, they were ruled against us. And some of them were passed without our notice, much as sometimes you find they always call for hearings. But the hearing, sometimes when they call, they give time that it is not, the time frame that doesn't match with maybe doesn't coordinate. So at the end of the day, you find that the petition is passed, or the rulings are passed against us. It matches when we have the full evidence. Then on the issue of fairness, it is true, these guys of Hoima, they are not on our favor. Actually, they're against Kiryandongo football. Find most cases, team from here, they're not even.
Innocent? I think Innocent has some problem with the network.
Not given any fair ground. Whenever there's a challenge or there's any complaint.
Your network is breaking? Okay. According to the PR, or the Public Relations Officer of Kiryandongo United, he was making a submission that the officials from Kitara Regional League always, whenever they make they raise complaint, they submit their cases to the officials from the regional. They don't respond to them, making them uncomfortable in the league, whereby if the case is being put on the table of the officials from Kitara Regional League, they don't respond in time. Sometimes they pay deaf ear, which makes things unprofessional, the way they run business. Well,
maybe moderator.
Yes.
I would love to show you how these people are incompetent and maybe they don't know what to do. Of recently, most DFAs submitted their clubs that are going to take part in the first division, but only CDFAs were approved. That is Odisa, Waimani, Masini. You know, this is an election year, and on the 6th of the coming month, there will be elections. And these DFAs are now struggling. They are not among those going to take part in the election. Not because they have faith, but because the redundancy are because of I don't care by the chairman region and his executive. Because if these forms were submitted to the general secretary, how long does it take him to make a report to the chairman? Because the chairman of the region is the immediate supervisor of the general secretary. The general secretary is an employee of the FUFA, but he is supervised by the chairman region. We have been complaining. We used to ask about this. It was sad that we transferred players from Kiryandongo United to Kiryandongo Young, 3 boys, because we wanted to give them playing time in the first division. Our players were rejected, that the team is not known. When last season we played,
who and
it's
who?
very embarrassing.
Can you, on record, can you read the names of those players?
We transferred Hassan.
Hassan who?
I think I will share with you this later. My laptop is not near with me.
Okay.
I would have shared. I will share with you this letter where these boys were transferred on the system. And just of recently, we were only told that the players were rejected there because Kiryandongo Young is not known, is not an active team. When last season it played, it has an FUFA Connect, it has a TMS Connect account. We make transfers, we get DTCs. Last season we got DTCs from other clubs. Even we made the transfer of one of the players from Boyale United, and the player was rejected. It hurts. People don't know how much we invest in clubs. Even we invest when not expecting any profit. But people don't understand this. The chairman and his executive, I think if I was the one, I would have resigned for doing unfairness to the game. Because we have been complaining. Sometimes when we talk about this, people think we are fighting them. But for us, we don't need these positions. For us, we are for football. Some of us who have invested in this game, even not expecting to get profit. But because we love football, especially me, I naturally love football. I did not pay school fees in secondary. Those who played with me, so I naturally love football. So the little I get, I put it in this game. But people are using this as, what can they do? Actually, can you imagine someone telling you that they cannot withdraw from the league? They have a sponsor. What will they tell the sponsor? Imagine. So are we being mistreated because we have a sponsor? We have nothing.
Who are those who says they have sponsors?
We have a social media. We have a WhatsApp group. Maybe one day, one time, I will request they add you there. Maybe you will be following these things. But here it is unfair. Elections are coming. Those who wanted to contest are now on pressure. Now the chairman is calling everyone at different districts. They want to submit names for teams for club officials to take part in the elections. They're on pressure. Things that, but these are guys who are poor at communication. You raise an issue, you write an email, they don't respond. Sometimes we have decided to choose and maybe. So, finalizing with what you said, our fans, we did not consult you on our withdrawal. We request you to forgive us. It was a timing bomb. The time would take to consult you. We did a meeting.
Don't you know that it is unprofessional?
Executive that you trust.
Mr. Kisembo.
Yes.
Don't you know that it's unprofessional for someone who sacrificed his penny to come and support the club by watching the game, even buy for them water, to take a drastic measure to withdraw from the league without consulting them? I wish if it was communication done to them, informed them that, you know what, we're going to withdraw from the league.
Jack, this is what I've told you, that there are some decisions where the executive take a lead.
But this one is very huge. This is very big compared to other decisions.
It's very huge, but let me ask you this. Maybe let me ask you this.
Yes.
How would you feel if the executive chose to go silent and then the region writes to the club that they have been demoted?
That's different.
Because we discussed this in an executive meeting, and it is not that maybe we don't love these fans, we don't consider them, we consider them. The reason we have put conditions after all of this, the fans should understand us on this. We have given conditions. If they can give us a response on what we pray, then we can bounce back, even play the outstanding fixtures.
Okay.
Kiryandongo is set.
Okay.
And we are able.
Thank you.
So I request our fans to remain calm. The team is there, but just withdrew from the league. And any development we shall keep. Actually, we have been chatting on our page as fans.
Okay.
Most of them are aware of this, and they understood our point. We gave a press release to the fans, and they understood this. They are over the know on what is going on.
Okay. Thank you so much, TTK, for that wonderful submission. Mr. Honorable Nsubuga Richard, You have raised up your hand, but you kindly requesting to unmute yourself and say something. Increase your voice. Your voice is very low. Your voice is very low.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator, and all the people present. My name is Nsuga Richard, and I'm a football fan.
You have forgot to put the title honorable.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Jack. I'm an aspiring candidate for National Unity Platform, Kiryandongo District, LC5. I'm really so grateful to be here today because football is part of us, and as an opinion leader and a football fan and someone who loves Kiryandongo, I really think it is so important to be here to discuss and share with you. I want to thank our clubs in Kiryandongo, the two clubs who have been disappointed personally for them not to be participating. But of course, their reasons carry weight. And my contribution, I think we have a problem. We have a challenge of unprofessional conduct by the league officials. This is to both the clubs and the two governing bodies, that is the Kitara Regional Football Association. There's a lot of incompetence when you look at what is happening, because as custodians of football, you must follow the rules and regulations of the game. It is very unfortunate for you to be taking money and match fixing. Match fixing can kill football. Remember, these clubs are investing a lot of money, and which money sometimes they cannot even recover, but because there is too much love for football, they incur the cost. So it is really a disservice to us all in the region, because we need to see our boys perform, and also we need to see them because to some of them football is a job. To some of them, this is where they can earn something small to keep them going, and we need to see them in the bigger clubs in the near future. So when you really go into match fixing and whatnot, it lets them down, because other people are working hard and other people are just picking from, they are getting from a silver plate. And this kills the game, the spirit of the game, because football is about competition. And we need a competition which is a health competition, whereby the winner takes the day. The other problem I'm seeing is about lack of supervision, poor supervision by the FUFA. FUFA is not managing this other league manager of ours, the Kitara Regional Football Association. There's poor supervision of Kitara Regional Football officials, because when you look at the complaints raised by these two teams, when they were writing their resignation letters withdrawal letters from the league, they send copies to FUFA. Unfortunately, there is no response from FUFA, which means there is a problem there. I don't know what could be the problem, but FUFA is also not managing professionally. It is supposed to be the one to supervise, but it's not doing its role. So that means there's also a problem, a challenge somewhere there. So I would kind of request that FUFA comes in whenever there's a challenge like this. FUFA comes in and it takes over, because it is the supervisor, the main supervisor of football. And then the other thing I'm seeing is lack of communication. This one is also a major challenge. When communication is blocked somewhere, somehow, whatever comes your way, you may think is right. We need to be communicating effectively and efficiently at all levels, from club to the regional organizing committee, association, then from the regional organization committee to the national level. We need communication to flow fluently. And I'm seeing this as also a challenge because sometimes they are telling you there are cases which are supposed to be attended to, but they get the letters at a time when they cannot, which means the communication is not done properly. Then I'm seeing malice and intrigue in the game because there is biasness towards some teams, and this is the worst part of it because this kills the game seriously. Because when people are putting in a lot of effort, but someone tells them, you first get for me my 200, you need this game. You can imagine such a scenario. It is really very, very bad for football. So we really need to condemn it. And I hope since this is going on record, it should be stopped with immediate effect. Because football sometimes is not for money. It's not for money. It is a game. Though we need money, but it is a game. You don't pick money like that. That is the wrong way of picking money. I would beg to stop there to allow other people also to have their contribution. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you so much, our panelists of KM Ad Talk. That is Honorable Nsubuga Richard for that wonderful submission. Your point and concern is being recorded, and it is going to be taken into consideration, and we're going to share all what we have discussed here with our bosses from FUFA, who will have to intervene to see that the league is being run smoothly with appropriate people, not people who are gambling, to make sure the league fail. At the end of the day, people will blame the federation. Let me have to bring in Mr. Kisembo Godfrey. Earlier on, you talked about mostly like you raise complaint in written, but the response is nowhere to be seen, or submit the video or photos. Is there any way that maybe some of your club officials record the audio? Because it's very hard for you to put a camera on someone's face. Someone will have to attack you. But there's also another way by recording them audio. Is this being done by the time when you're submitting those petitions to the offices of the region? Do you attach the audios, or you only have videos and photos to present?
When you petition, you write a petition. A petition is accompanied with petition fees. That is 200,000. When a petition is received by the competitions committee, they communicate. They tell you, submit evidence before this date. You look at the petition, you compile the evidence. Now, for example, if the petition is against a player who is impersonating, you don't need any audio. You don't need a video. You need photos. Protest photos. A protest photo is supposed, it has characteristics. One, there must be a captain of a complaining team. Two, there must be a referee or a match official for that game must be in the photo. Three, the players being protested against, they must appear in the photo. So, for impersonation, we attach photos. We don't attach videos, we don't attach audios. And our cases are two of the cases have been impersonation. One of the case was players without license. Players without license, you don't need any audio, you don't need a video, you need a photo and the names, which we did. So maybe, I don't know what you wanted exactly, but that's what we do as we're presenting the evidence. There are people should understand this.
I was also talking about the audio. Maybe if the photos sometime, nowadays we have technology. Someone can Photoshop and do the editing at the end of the submit. That's ABC. But audio, there's no way. Even though someone use AI to.
And the challenge is, if your petition is about impersonation, what would the audio be saying?
Okay.
You cannot prove.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I will come back to you. I was hoping that my brother, Mr. Kiza Godfrey, the CEO of Nyakadot United, could say something, but he has muted himself. Mr. Godfrey, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, before I bring in, I saw someone from Muhimba United Football Club, Amex Vicent, and Juma Said. 3 people stay online. I will come back to you immediately after Mr. Kiza Godfrey has made his submission.
Thank you so much. One, I just want to let know of the people listening out there that Nyakadot United is there and is still there and will be there. Because I think people's worry was now Nyakadot United has withdrawn from the league. I mean, now that's the end of them. But I think one thing that we did with the help of our PR, or we had to communicate to people and let them know that Nyakadot United has only withdrawn from the competition, from Kitara Regional League, but the club still remains. And for those of you that were in Boyale today, we had a friendly match. So that shows you that the club is still there, and there's so many things that we are planning to do, because we still need our fans and people around. One of the things that you've been talking about, the issue of the evidences that were always submitted alongside petitions. One thing I want to bring to book is that most times the people that sit on the disciplinary committee, I want to be clear that most of these people have their own interest. And like TTK said, even when you have substantial evidence, there are situations where clubs have lost petitions, even with genuine evidences that something happened. And then at the end of the day, you realize the disciplinary committee could be having their own intentions, because at the end of it all, for example, the TTK was talking about that game of Buhuka and Kiryandongo United. This is something that has raised concerns up to now. People still talk about it. But look, the chairperson, the general secretary, the people in the administration, the chair, the head of referees, those that head the disciplinary committee have simply kept quiet about it. When I asked for substantial evidence as to why Nyakadot United had to pay fines or against when the ones that were citing when we were home playing against Kakumiro, and then we asked for them evidence why we would pay fines, that there was hooliganism against Boyale United. They kept quiet. At the end of it all, they just said, you know what, you need to pay this amount of money. But you realize that when your petition, you're paying 200,000. When you lose the petition or the other team loses the petition, the money does not come to the team that petitioned. Unfortunately, the money still goes back to the disciplinary, the team that sat on the disciplinary committee and the competitions committee. You see, this is where things go wrong. That at the end of it all, even when you go and for a hearing, and then things are read, and you at the end of it all, we I simply have to believe that these guys have their preconceived mind of this is how it should be. There have been situations where clubs have been invited for hearing when they know the hearing is tomorrow, and then they communicate in a way that we do not understand. Like they say it is tomorrow, and then they keep adjusting, and then at the end of the day they tell you, no, it was the other day, and then you missed it out. You see that? There is a very big problem with Kitara Regional Football Association.
Okay.
Communication isn't there.
Okay.
The person who is responsible for communicating himself, you as a moderator, you clearly said you contacted them, and then they are playing you here, there, and this is the same thing they are doing. I think if they would have done that to you, it would be a yes. But now you're doing it to the stakeholders of the league. A club CEO has called you. They want to inquire something about the club. They want to inquire something about the region, and then the communication is not there. Because me, I felt if I have communicated to you on email, that's good enough. And then you've not replied. I am calling you, you're not picking up. I send you our WhatsApp message. This is something that is very crucial for the club. The club is not mine. The club is for everyone. At the end of it all, things just go like that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that brief summary that you have already presented. It's very important, very valid. They will look into it. As the CEO of the club, you have a very important issue that you have raised, whereby people have to know why Nyakadot United took a decision to withdraw from the league. Mr. Amex Vincent, you have 2 minutes. You present your submission.
Hello.
Yes, please. Thank you for joining us.
Guys, thank you so much for this. I want to appreciate, first of all, appreciate the CEO, Kiryandongo United and Nyakadot, upon making that decision of withdrawal against unfavorable environment of operation. However much they didn't consult the players, the fans, but it was worth for that decision. My humble request is that, having said all this, yes, if I make a petition and you call me for hearing and you don't give me a justified means of the decision made, I therefore lose interest. Just as it said, if I'm the winner in that case, why don't you compensate me for that? Secondly, when the league was opening, everything was said, rules are made governing the league. But it's unfortunate that people come to play without license. It's really unfortunate. People are investing much to get licenses. We're looking at how to raise Kitara football team, a region. Kitara alone is not enough to be represented in the Uganda Premier League. But if now these small teams are not being supported very well, I really feel there's still a lot to do. Despite the fact that, yes, Kiryandongo United had a big sponsorship, but nevertheless, that can't let you suffer that because you have a big sponsorship. Well, my humble appeal to FUFA would be, if they can have seen all this, having had all this and being brought to record, if they still keep quiet, then they're killing regional football. We are looking at recent when they are planning to raise a Kibwa Stadium. The questions were lingering around: how many teams are there in Lango sub-region to use that stadium? We're seeing Koipa Stadium is now up. We're looking at how many teams will come to perform to use that stadium. So if they're still oppressing these young teams, these upcoming teams, it's really absurd.
As you summarize,
it's really unfortunate that FUFA is not taking action, even in a situation where evidence are gathered. It's really that a team is withdrawing, but this is giving them already a very red flag that something needs to be done somewhere, somehow. If not, today we are seeing Nyakadot withdrawing out at Kiryandongo United. You never know, tomorrow some other teams will also withdraw. By the end of the tournament or the regional league, no team is there. No team has there in the league just because of the unfair work and unfavorable work environment.
Thank you.
Moderator, I thank you so much for your effort always to see that you bring things to record. Despite the CEOs turning off your phones, not getting back to you, not giving information. It's unfortunate that a team CEO calling, so seeking for a guidance from a senior personnel who is an encyclopedia for information, and he or she doesn't respond. I don't know what criteria are used to get such people on.
Thank you so much for that beautiful.
Thank you so much, moderator. I beg something.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amek Vitze, for that beautiful submission. Your submission is very valid, and it's a very strong one that it will be put on record and other people as well. I'm going to give 1 minute to Honorable Jen Kasangaki, and then later on I will invite Buhima United to say something. Honorable Jen, unmute yourself. Gender balance time. Honorable Jen. Honorable, okay.
Good evening, Tony.
Good evening, how are you? Thank you for joining us on Hard Talk.
Good evening, Tony, of the members around. Are you getting me, Tony?
Yes, I'm getting you loud and clear. You're audible.
Good evening to all.
Good evening, how are you?
I want to take this moment to thank you for bringing up the sports fraternity together tonight. I'm so much pleased to hear the voices of the CEOs and the sports lovers. However, to my dismay, it's really so sad to hear that Kitara regional officials are failing our sports in Kiryandongo. And it isn't news because most times Masinda and Hoima, those officials from those areas, most times regarded Kiryandongo as not being part in Bunyoro. So maybe that is why they always fail us. However, I would request, or if it would be possible, these voices of tonight are recorded. You send them to the FUFA president. Maybe in that way, it will make some impact. They will have to make some changes. However, I'm so happy for tonight's Hard Talk paddock. In fact, it has been the best of the best. I've seen people have attended, several.
Thank you
so much. Please, thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Jen Kasengeki, for that wonderful accomplishment of... I don't know how to say it, but all in all, I can say thank you for the wonderful submission and appreciating the Hard Talk. Hard Talk is not funded by anyone. Hard Talk, we do it for the purpose of making Kiryandongo better again, for everyone to enjoy Kiryandongo district as a home to welcome everyone, and Bunyoro Kitara for everyone to enjoy the atmosphere as being the land of honey. We believe that tonight Hard Talk, I have to make it on record. It's being recorded, and personally I will share it with the FUFA president because we always talk. Thank you. Let me invite in Buhima United. You have been raising your hand several times. It's now your opportunity. Welcome aboard.
Jen should mute.
It's muted.
Jen. Okay. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has turned up for this meeting. One, I'm Hilton Chom Kisa, one of the CEOs of Buhima United Saints. To me, I wouldn't be here, but because of the love of the game, I've been following up what is exactly happening in Albertine region, more especially the Kitara region. I, as a person, I also feel that there's something which is really not going on well. Last season, as we Buhima United were qualifying, I remember the teams which gave us hard time, one of them was Kiryandongo. And most times I always call Kiryandongo man and I say to him, thank you, you gave us what to do. The other team was Nyakadot. Going to Weyala and pick results was not easy. So it was really unfortunate to hear that the teams are falling out from the league. to me, the organizers are real down, are bringing these teams down. To me, that's the summary of it all. Teams are being put on too much expenses which are unaccounted for.
In a moment, let me interject you. What do you mean organizers? The club organizers or the regional league organizers? Clarify on that.
The competition organizers, automatically competition organizers.
Okay.
I've been following the petition cases of Nyakadot, Kiryandongo, but most of times they don't get really what they deserve. Losing a petition is not the biggest issue, but how they lose. They table evidences, but they feel they are really not given chance to defend themselves, and maybe the decision to favor them. It's not one, it's not two, and many teams are complaining, and that's not really, that has been really taken for granted, and I'm seeing many teams going out, which is really bad. Due to time, I want to summarize and say FUFA should take really a big hand and come on ground to see what is really taking on. Otherwise, we are losing teams which had potentials to qualify to stay. I was once at Kitara Football Club as secretary. People see teams playing and they enjoy football, but they don't know what the CEO is supposed to do, to defend, to talk to fans, to tell the bosses who are always sometimes not on ground. But to a man like Kiryandongo, who comes, struggles, and one day gets misjudged, and when he tries to come for equity, and you deny him a chance to get what he is trying to get, you're really letting football down. We lack really that transparency in our region. There's no statistics. The region is really down. You play football, no one to follow up. You spend 3 days, 4 days, even minus knowing the results from the other game. Yet bosses are investing. We were on top of the table last season one time, but we spent like 1 week not knowing how the other game ended of the opponents, which is really unfortunate. And if the team and the league wants to develop, you can't tell me you are developing anything. Yet there's no one concerned about how the league is running. Now, when someone pays 200,000 for petition and win it or lose, when you win, your money is not returned back. It means that the money was not used in the proper way. The bosses will also ask, where did the money go? Yes, I won my case. It became like now a business to some people that teams should petition, because if 10 teams petition on 200, that's almost 2M. And it's on the side of bosses, we are losing. On the side of the competition, they are gaining. And sometimes it's uncalled for, because some cases are really open, and even a kid can see. We have rules we are following that let us all have valid licenses. A team comes and play with no license completely. Then when Mr. Kiryandongo, Mr. Kagadi, the other one calls that you play under protest, then where are we going? One time I want to know this. Our president is so strict.
As a summarize,
and say you stop there. You stop there, don't play. But what will you tell the fans? What will you tell the sponsors that we stop to play because the other team never licenses? Yet the organizers have the authority to issue, to stop, to even call off the game and give you points because the other team has failed to reach the qualifications. I really need to summarize by saying FUFA should really come on ground if we need development. Otherwise, the facilities are coming, but they will come and we shall have no teams to present. What is going on, which is really not expected to be as it is.
Thank you for that brief. Your submission is very clear. As I put together regarding tonight's discussion, why Kiryandongo United and Nyakadot United withdrawn from the league. All, as I am from hearing from both sides and football lovers making their submission, they're calling the federation, that is Federation of Uganda Football Association, FUFA, under the stewardship of Engineer Honorable Magogo, to come on board and sanction these officials so that they can do something which is right, or they should be sacked and replaced by people who are well versed to manage the league. It will look unprofessional and so annoying for Hoima, a city, the oil city, as we call, is hosting the AFCON 2027 matches, and the league, that is Kitara Regional League, is in a mess. It's just let me say just 1 year ahead of the AFCON. We need proper guidance, we need proper leadership that will run the league whereby everyone will enjoy. I want to correct this and put it on record. Kiryandongo district is under Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom. Despite that allegation and people coming up with their own theory, I know, yes, of course, some officials from the league and from some cultural officials, they always take Kiryandongo to be for Paluo. No, Kiryandongo district is under Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom. Maybe the officials from the Kitara Kingdom will abandon so that Kiryandongo can form their own kingdom, which we already know that Kiryandongo has been started under under Paluo some years back, before I was born or you were born. In summary, TTK, what will you have to tell the listeners and the fan of Kiryandongo United Football Club? Summary in 2 minutes.
In summary, I'm calling upon fans of Kiryandongo United. Let's remain calm. Let's continue supporting the club. The merchandise are still on market. You can order customized. You can order for plain. We deliver. Of recent, there is a package that has already landed in Kampala. Tomorrow morning to be on board. It will be coming to Kiryandongo. Those who need jerseys, they are on market.
TTK, just someone have sent me a message here. Just a moment. Let me interject you. Someone have asked me a question here. This is Ruth, all the way from Helsinki, Finland. Ruth is asking, with the drastic measures has been taken place by both Kiryandongo United and Nyakadot United to withdraw from the league, would they be demoted or they will resume next season, 2025-2026, in the regional league? This question is posed direct to you.
As of now, for us, we wrote requesting we wrote to withdraw. Our writing caused a meeting that was held. After a meeting, as a professional CEO, as a guy who has been for football for the last 20 years, the experience I have, I picked what was talked in the meeting because I attended online. Through our representative, I wrote responding to the meeting that was scheduled, and I gave out what our prayer is. We shall wait for if next season they write to us that they have demoted us because we withdrew, well and good. They responded to us that all our prayer has been considered, well and good. If they write to us that they were, because we are waiting for a response from them, because our prayer was saying if they respond to our prayer, we can resume the league. Maybe their response will be they have demoted us. We don't know. If they demote us, life will continue. We shall start from 5th division. It will give us only 2 seasons to come back to the regional league. We also don't know what comes after the elections, because the elections are soon. Come next month, we shall have new leaders in the region, because they are on the 6th of this month. The district football associations are going to elect their chairpersons and the delegates to the region. You never know what comes. Maybe the government may change. If the government changes, you don't know what comes about. We shall be waiting to get the details. But all in all, we are calling upon our fans to remain calm. The club is on. We shared with our sponsor. He was not happy about the region for the injustice they are doing on the club. He's still with us. The kits are available. Those who we need, you can contact me or you can contact our treasurer, Mr. Shaben, at Shaben Electronics. Those who need the kits, we have the kits available. Anytime of the day, we can. Maybe as I also end.
No, just a moment. Just a moment. This is from Agnes Achayo, all the way from Sydney, Australia. She's asking the same question. Since Kiryandongo United have withdrawn from the league, will there be a demotion if your letter has not been responded by the regional officials or the FUFA officials?
Of course, if we don't get a response, meaning we shall not be playing in the league. We can continue playing in different leagues. We can play the Uganda Cup. We can play the Uganda Cup next season, but not the regional league because Uganda Cup is not managed by the regional league. They just supervise it. It is managed by the FUFA competitions. So to me, if they don't respond to us, meaning our decision shall stand, because there's no way we can come out and say, unless if the government changes, come next month, we can write to the new government requesting to come back to the league, and then we wait to see their response. Because our main target was the injustice by those people, and our prayer is that if some people can move out of the office, maybe things would change and we move on smoothly, because the new government coming in has where to start from. They know what has been going right and what has not been going right.
All right, thank you so much. Before I bring in Mr. Kiza Godfrey to make his summary, I would like to invite my panelists, my co-host, that is Council Obonyo Tony Blair. Congratulations. Becoming a man is not easy. Thank you for joining us on board. Council?
Thank you very much. The moderator and all colleagues have been hearing in and out. Thank you, Juma, and all the people who are on the call from different places and different continents. I must say I've been hearing Juma respond to most of the questions, and I'm happy with his responses. What has been lingering in my mind is whether the withdrawal of these two football clubs in any way benefits the club themselves. But I must say it was a bold decision. To me, I see it as a very bold decision from the management of these two football clubs. Sometimes when you feel certain things are not working out right, or if you feel like the moderator that we discussed with you earlier today, if they feel there's any unfair treatment being done to the club or their progress, sometimes a withdrawal, a tactical withdrawal, like what they do in the army, could be of benefit. But on the other hand, I think it also has its counterproductivity. The counterproductive part of such withdrawals, sometimes of course you lose out on the game. These regional games could be games that create wider exposure and could be opportunities to be scouted out by other teams, to scout out players that could basically be sold or transferred, something that could generate revenue for the club. But to me, was a bold move. And what I've heard from Juma, I've not heard from the manager or the person in charge of Nyakadot FC, but at least I've heard Juma's justifications. Since I don't have so much time, I'm here running up and down. I just want to encourage the two football clubs to maintain professionalism, to maintain a spirit of creating exposure for their players and scouting out talent. I don't know if I've repeated what has already been said earlier by other colleagues since I've been off. So I'm sorry if I'm repeating anything. But I didn't have really much today to say, other than encourage the clubs that are on the show today to ensure that they scout out talents from different parts of Kiryandongo or even from beyond Kiryandongo, and ensure that it becomes a formidable club. Encourage sponsors, encourage talent growth and talent promotion. Basically, that is what I have to say. I really don't have much to say. But I also want to encourage the management of the team to sit back, the management of these two clubs to sit back and analyze the negative and the positive impact of this tactical or tactful withdrawal, and see whether it's productive in any way. And if it is not productive, how do we, next time there are any grievances with the organizers of either Uganda Cup or the regional games, how does the club react? If this has given a positive feedback on the clubs, then probably next time you could do the same and say, okay, if this is not right for us, we don't feel right about it, we withdraw. But if it has given a negative impact, for example, some of these withdrawals in football, if you are not well explained, at times clubs get fined for withdrawing at the last minute. If you're not fined, you may be banned for a particular period of time to not to take part in the games. So to me, it's about trying to ensure that we learn lessons from what has happened in this withdrawal, and how do we make it better next time? Was it beneficial to the clubs? Was it a disadvantage to the clubs? I know Juma could have already explained this much earlier, but it still goes back to the management of the club to analyze their actions and ensure that next time probably a better move can be taken or a better decision can be taken. And if this has had positive impacts, then probably the same tactical withdrawal can be done. I've seen several clubs withdrawing for one reason or another, and sometimes heavy fines come and heavy bans come to it. So to me, it's purely what have you lost or what have you gained from this, and it informs your next move in the next games to come. Basically, thank you very much.
Thank you, Council Obonyo Tony Blair, for that submission. I believe Mr. Kisembo Juma, you have taken note of that, and my brother.
Maybe to give more light.
Maybe just a moment before you before you come in. I want to give Kiza to say something, and then you can close up. Mr. Kiza.
Thank you so much. I think Council joined in a little bit late when I had spoken a lot, but I think maybe we'll have to follow the conversation there later. But at the end of it all, we are are saying that Nyakadot United is there, and we are still there. I want the fans to be strong. We have plans ahead of us. We are already planning to have some games with regional league teams from the north, east, and west Nile, and then some other big league clubs, so that we still have time for our fans. The other thing is that, like Titika said, elections are going to be held, and our prayer is that the vices that we've been talking about at least get picked out. If we can have people that have the love for the game, that people who are coming into football administration for the love of the game, I think football is going to be beautiful for us, and maybe we are going to see ourselves back. The most important thing is that if those vices are still there, they will still infect other people when they come into the administration. Our plea is that for those that are going to vote for in the upcoming elections, people should simply have to vote wisely. It's unfortunate that Kiryandongo DFA is one of the DFAs that I didn't see in the list, but we would also want to get explanation from the region as to why Kiryandongo is not appearing anywhere, because like my colleague had said, we have first division teams here, but according to the region, looks like we do not have any. And now these are some of the things that we've been talking about. These are things that we shall need explanations for as time goes on. Otherwise, it's been beautiful being here. For the lovers of football, for our fans, we had to take the decision, and at some point, people have understood, based on the letters that we wrote. I think the fans and then the supporters and then our sponsors, people should have understood the reason as to why, and so many people are standing behind us, because some of these things was vividly seen when it came to on match day. So I think for some people it was not a surprise, and I am hoping that we get the best out of football.
Thank you so much for that nice summary. It's really beautiful, encouraging. People will take note of that. Well, Council Bonyo, you have 1 minute. Summarize, then I call in TTK to say something. As we summarize, we close our talk. Council, you raised up your hand?
Yes, please. As Juma summarizes, maybe I wanted him to give us, I don't know if he has done this for my benefit, just in a second, maybe summarize the negative and positive impacts of this withdrawal from his point of view as a professional manager. Then I also want to send out my apologies as a close. I have been running up and down. My little brother's wife gave birth, and for those of you who might not know, that brother of mine is in prison, and I've been struggling with his wife running up and down. So sorry, next time I'll be in time for the call, but yeah, I'm standing in for my brother, and there's no way I could run and leave the call.
Thank you.
And attend the call without handling his issues.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much. My apologies. Next time I'll be early in time.
Apology accepted, and congratulations to the wife of your brother. And we pray for the health of the kid and the mother. And we pray that may Almighty God bless your brother as we hope for his return health-wise. TTK, summarize. I also see somebody here, Honorable Olama Isaac. You will have to say something. You're always very good at hiding, but tonight you will not hide. As we summarize. TTK, summarize in 1 minute.
Thank you, moderator. May my brother Obonyo cancel on his submission and inquiry. There are some times when you need to swallow a pin and die for others so that they can live longer. Kiryandongo United, we have seen this. Clubs have suffered. We have suffered. We couldn't let it continue. we chose to sacrifice ourselves for other clubs and for the league and for football to move on. The disadvantages for withdrawing is that we don't get much playing time because league, the players don't get much playing time because the league gives us playing time. We play every week, game in, game out. Another disadvantage is that maybe we may not be recognized by the federation if we are not part of the league. The federation may not recognize us. Those are some of you. On the issue of maybe punishment, we may not be punished. One, because we have reasons to why we withdrew. Two, our reason, no one has come out to object our reasons. Maybe to say we are lying, this is not true. No one has come out to state that. Actually, in the previous meeting that was held after our withdrawal, pins the competitions committee for the irregularities they did in the making of passing of the judges. I mean the judgments that were made, because it doesn't mean that if I'm not available for a hearing that I should lose the case when we submitted the evidence that were needed. So to me, we shall not be punished, but we chose this for the betterment of the game. And something has been realized in the last few weeks when we have not been there. There have been a little bit of change because the meeting that was convened, it has brought some changes, and people are under pressure. The elections have put the guys who have been in office on pressure. They are worried of losing their positions, and the new team, maybe the same team, if they are to come back, they're going to work for the game, and we expect football to move on. We have been for this team for the last 20 years. We have done a lot of achievements. Actually, we have not been going down. We have been improving. Obonyo, you have watched us for the last maybe 2 or 3 years. When we have started connecting, the Kiryandongo United has continued moving up. We last season had a sponsor of 15 million. This season we had a sponsor of 30 million. What would you think about next season? We looked at this, we sat with our sponsor, we explained this, we told him, and he understood us. So to me, our fans, we request we remain calm, and we push on. Kiryandongo United is there to stay. We are there to stay, and we shall keep going. I want to wish members of Kiryandongo district and Uganda at large a happy Eid Mubarak, and we wish them nice celebration, especially the Muslims.
Thank you. In 1 minute, Honorable, my area LT3 Chigumba Sub-County, my brother, my OB, Honorable Olama Isaac, the LT3 Chigumba Sub-County. Unmute yourself and say something. As a footballer of all time. Honorable, I think Honorable doesn't want to say something. Otherwise, I think we have come to close to the hard talk. I would like to say thank you to all our esteemed guests for accepting our invitation and sharing a valuable site on the recent decision by Kiryandongo United Football Club and Nyakadot United Football Club to withdraw from FUFA Kitara Regional League. Your perspectives have been valuable in shedding light on this matter. I would like to say thank you, Mr. Kisembo Juma, TTK, Chief Executive Officer, Chairman Kiryandongo United Football Club, live from Ankara, Turkey, Mr. Kiza Godfrey, CEO Nyakadot Football Club, live from Kiryandongo District, and everyone who has been with us on the call. I would like to say it has been amazing to have you all, our audience, for tuning in and actively participating. Your voice is what keeps the platform alive. This has been your Hard Talk podcast with your host, Tony Atenye, live from Amsterdam, Netherlands. Join us again next Saturday, 5th April 2025 from 7:30 to 9:30 East African Standard Time as we dive into another crucial matter, land grabbing in Kiryandongo district, a challenging affecting many villages and threatening livelihood. On behalf of Kiryandongo Mira 311 team, thank you for tuning in to the show. In the meantime, stay better, not bitter, and always remember to keep the hope of Kiryandongo, Bunyoro, and Uganda alive. Hangiriza Gutamba, Hangiriza Mwibingwa, Hangiriza Ntali ya Bunyoro, Kitara, Hangiriza Bajukuru Bakabalega, and have yourself a blessed night for God and my country.